Hello and good afternoon, friends. Today I want to take you on an inspection with me for a system that we don't get to see very often. This is going to be a house from 2006 and it has a pump chamber. Now, pump chambers are fun, so I want to take you through and we're going to look at how is everything working? Is everything where it belongs? Let's go ahead, check the records first, and then we're going to go see what's outside. Alrighty, so we're looking at the records and we can see here that we have ourselves a 1,500 gallon tank to a 1,000 gallon concrete pump chamber with an alarm, obviously super easy, a distribution box, and 2 septic trenches. Now, this should all be pretty straightforward and pretty simple, so let's go outside and see, is this roughly what we're gonna find outside? Alrighty, so we just looked at the records and we can see here that we have our tank. This lid is going to be on the middle of the tank. We have another lid right here that's buried a little bit. That's gonna be in the front of the tank. This one is on the back of the tank, and now we're gonna have our pump chamber over here. You're gonna have an identical lid right on the front also, and a riser. Now, the purpose of these access points, especially on the pump chamber, this is how you're going to get the pump out of the tank and do any services to the electrical. Modern systems, you'll have the electrical on a post outside, but when we pop this open, I'm expecting to see electrical components in the riser. This exists that way if there's a clog between there and here, you can dislodge whatever that clog is. Manhole risers, as we've discussed previously on the septic tank, that's going to be designed to pump the tank out. And then this lid over here is in case something gets stuck in the front baffle or in the sewer line, you have a way of getting it out. This particular house also has what we refer to as a snake line near the foundation. Same purpose as the one inside of the home, except for if something gets stuck in this pipe and stuff starts coming out, it'll just spew around out here rather than in your basement. The drain fields are going to be way up there, and those are going to be our observation ports. So that means the distribution box should be somewhere about 50 feet over there. So those are designed as core samples in the trench to let us know if something's not working. Observation pipes are super important and they're required by code nowadays, but they're really good at helping septic installers and pumpers and stuff like that quickly diagnose any issues you might be having with your tank. So let's go ahead and pop open all these lids and see what's going on. All right, so we were correct. So this is our tank and then this is our pump chamber. And now we can actually see that there are 2 pumps in this pump chamber. So one's basically your primary and one's gonna be your backup pump, and they're gonna work together to make sure that we don't have any kind of backups in the home prior to getting our property serviced. So there should be a high water alarm in the house, but let's go look up top of the hill and see what we're working with. All right, so when we're looking inside of here, what we're looking for is essentially to see, do we see any water, any liquid? Is it dry? In this particular circumstance, it's dry. Dry is a good thing. So these observation ports, basically what they are, they're just a core sample into the trench to kind of let you know what's going on. As these trenches age, they start to fill with water, so the observation port will help basically anybody who's trying to determine the cause of a backup figure out what's going on. People regularly complain to me about that there's so many access points on septic systems, and I get it. It's a justifiable complaint. Nobody wants to have that many pipes in their yard. But each of these pipes are going to serve a purpose. These pipes are going to basically make it to where whenever you have a problem, the diagnostic team can figure out what's going on without tearing up your entire yard and charging an arm and a leg. The old way of figuring out the cause of a backup is to physically dig everything out, and you got to pay for that. That's not fun. So by having these access caps, it makes repair and diagnostics way faster and way simpler. So we've already looked in there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to camera through the sewer line and see what we see. So we've got everything open, and now we need to make sure the pumps work. So you could pull the float. That's the lazy way to do it. I like to organically test it so that way we can also make sure the pipes are open, everything's draining the way that it's supposed to drain, the pump turns on, and we don't see anything bubbling up out of the force main. So we're gonna run the water for a little bit, and we've already looked at the observation ports. They're dry, so that's good. It's a step in the right direction. We want to make sure that they stay dry after we run some water through it, especially since the house has been vacant for a while. Okay, so we're just about wrapped up. We ran water through, we got that pump to cycle. Everything was doing what it's supposed to do. Nothing's backing up. That's always a good thing. So when you have a home like this is kind of a lower lying house, you're sometimes going to end up with a pump chamber. Now, Our state doesn't usually go right off to the pump chambers. They'll try to find a way to work it to where it's all gravity fed. But pump chambers do exist, and they do come up quite often. Now, if you have a pump chamber, it's really, really important to make sure you have a high water alarm. What a high water alarm is a little float or sensor inside of the pump chamber that once the water touches it or pushes the float up, sounds an alarm to tell you as a homeowner, hey, pause, something's not working, we've got sewage too high. And that's it, basically when you call the septic guy to come fix whatever went wrong. Usually it's the floats, right? Those little floats are cheap and they break all the time, but sometimes it's actually the pump itself. So if you don't have a high water alarm on your pump chamber, I really recommend you consider getting one installed. I hope you found some value in this. If you found this entertaining, hit that like button, hit subscribe. I have more videos posted every day on the World of Well and Septic. I try my best to cover every topic as they come in. If there's a particular area of interest you want me to talk about, leave a comment below. I love having these conversations, and until tomorrow, guys.